Hey, good afternoon, Clear Lake peeps, or good morning, whenever you look at this thing. Ross Ingham with Clear Lake Guide Service with your fishing report for, this is going to be the last fishing report for July. I'm recording this on 7/28. So, out here, before anybody asks questions, we're out here in Jim's boat. It's not another boat, it's Jim's. Today's one of those days that we haven't really been able to fish together that much lately, which is a bummer. Just different schedules and things going on. So it's kind of, I really enjoy it when the two of us get out here together and we kind of go to work on figuring some stuff out. And today's one of those kind of days. We came out here with the mindset of not going where we knew we could catch fish. So we're kind of on a prospecting day or pre-fish day, however you want to call it, looking for new spots. And so far it's midday for us, and I think we've caught 12 fish so far. I can safely say that we really haven't found any new spots. We've just been able to catch a fish here, catch a fish there, combination of different techniques. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, but anyway, that's where we are. That's what we're doing. We're currently sitting down here in the very bottom of the Redbud Arm. We've already been to around Rattlesnake Island this morning, so we've kind of gotten around a little bit today. So activities, first of all. Activities are, the only thing going on that I'm aware of for this coming weekend is a Bbt Team Tournament, which goes Saturday out of 5th Street. 5th Street, 3rd Street, anywhere that you can go out of. Jim heard a story where somebody launched the boat at like 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning and then went out and basically slept in the boat until it was time for the tournament to start because of the launching facilities and all that. So anyway, those are the only activities that are going on this weekend that I'm aware of. Conditions. Wind's kind of done some really weird stuff. Honestly, for as much of the lake as we've run around today, the water's not that bad. I don't know if that oddball weather we got yesterday really helped and knocked down some of this algae. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can still get in places where it's really bad, but when we were down at Rattlesnake this morning, we could see easily 2.5 feet, maybe 3 to 3.5. There was a little bit of stuff floating on the surface. And some of the stuff that was floating on the surface looked like somebody threw their garbage out. It was 5 or 6 inches tall and 2.5 feet wide. There's some big chunks of algae floating around out there. Down here in the Redbud Arm, there really hasn't been anywhere that we've pulled up that I felt uncomfortable trying to fish. I don't know how long it's going to stay that way. It's supposed to get hot again today and through the weekend. So those are the conditions. Weed mats, we're not really seeing a whole lot of them. I'm still kind of avoiding the upper end of the lake. I've had better success down on these two deeper arms doing what we've been doing. So water temp, mornings still 81, 82, and it'll get up to 85. I've a couple of times this past week since the last report I saw 86. So that's a big catfish jumps over here. So right now where we're sitting it's 82, and that's pretty much where it's going to be, is somewhere between 82 and 85 over most of the lake. So there's your conditions. Launch ramp. Well, let's talk about lake level. Lake level's dropped another almost 1/4 of a foot. It's at minus 0.9 this morning. I couldn't figure out on the USGS website where I go to be able to take a look and see what the current water level is. Oh, there goes Ace. There's a red line that runs across. It looks like at about minus 1.1. And it appears that that's when the gauge up in Lakeport probably won't be able to work or take readings anymore. So I'll update you next week when I have a chance to get over there and find out what the scoop is with that. So the lake continues to drop. It's going to keep going down. It's just the way it is. Ace is looking for help coming in. It's his dad's turn to bail him out this time. He's really good at jumping overboard. He just hasn't figured out the part of how to get back in. So I think those are all your conditions. Let's talk about fishing a little bit. Fishing is, I still think it's pretty good. Here, I'll shut up so you can see this process. He just hasn't quite figured that part out yet. Jim and I were out Thursday last week, and we finally had a 50 fish day. You know, we caught 52 fish that day. We left fish biting in a couple of different areas. A lot of topwater fish, a lot of frogfish. It was just a matter of finding out. When we found some, we found a bunch. Obviously, we haven't looked for them today, at least yet. But we caught fish over the past week on frogs, a popper, shaky head, Texas rigged craw, little swim bait, little underspin. I know I'm forgetting something because I do every week. After I do this, I think, you know what, I forgot about that. Drop shot. I think that's about it. And the majority of our fish really are still coming in less than 5 feet of water. Actually, you'd probably say most of them are probably in less than 4 feet of water. Got a lot of fish down in the redbud arm. The rattlesnake arm hasn't been quite as good for us, but we're still catching fish there too. It's just a little bit harder. You kind of have to scratch a little bit more, at least for me. I think the way that the lake, you know, unless this algae bloom blows up again all over the place, what I see is over the past 2 or 3 weeks, we've actually started to catch a fish every once in a while that's in the 4.5 to 5.25 pound range, which are way nicer fish than what we were catching, you know, the previous month. You know, a good limit for us was probably in the 17 to 18 pound range, and now we're fairly consistently pushing 20 to 22 pounds, you know, with no big fish. We had one day that we had a couple of 5s and, you know, a 4. It's really hard because some of these fish look like they're big fish. They look like they're 5-pounders. You put them on a scale and they're 3 3/4, maybe 4 pounds, 4 1/4. Just some of these fish are real skinny, and then you'll get into an area and every fish you catch is thick and just looks like a typical Clear Lake fish. Fat, full. We have caught a couple of incidental catfish over the past week. Both of them ate small swim baits. So most of our, you know, it doesn't really make any difference. We've caught fish in weed mats, we've caught fish on rocks, we've caught fish on docks. So the only thing that we've kind of narrowed down, we're just not catching any fish on tulies. So that's the only thing that we're kind of avoiding. But boy, I tell you what, you can go up to a dock that's only in 2 feet of water and there'll be a fish or two underneath it. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. The bite's still pretty darn good if you can stand the weather, and in some cases if you can stand the smell. So, but we'll see how the rest of the week goes. Thanks. I appreciate those of you that have stuck with us. It's been a lot of fun. Appreciate the comments. If you like what you heard, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you aboard. And we're going to do our best to keep you in the loop with what's going on with the lake conditions. Oh, I should tell you, in talking to John up at CNC Marine, there's still guys coming in with banged up lower units. So if you're fishing around an area that's got rock, you know, be careful. We don't need anybody, you know, getting busted up over this. So thanks. We'll talk to you next week. I was really kind of blabbing here the last minute, hoping Jim would catch a fish, but didn't happen. That's okay. Can't get good help anymore. We'll talk to you guys next week.